I decided to create some more air vents in the roof. And as I said in an earlier video, these vents are going to be covered up with a plywood roof rack, so that'll keep the water out. And all I need to do is, keep the bugs out. So after these holes have been cut, I'm adding a screen. I'll go up top side here. I cut the hole with this metal cutting diamond wheel, and then I put the screen in place, and then I put caulking in here. Well, it's actually construction adhesive. And so after this all hardens up, I'll maybe put another coat in. And with this having a plywood cover over the top, I don't need to worry so much about the rain falling in as I do having the water run, from the front and then dropping in a hole. So I decided to put in a raised screen. And I'm installing it using that construction adhesive. One of the things that is worth noting is that whenever you're grinding or drilling or cutting through sheet metal, it'll create little particles of dust, and if metal dust or metal shavings, and if you don't clean that debris off of the roof, what will happen is the morning dew and the moisture in the air will cause this steel to rust, and that rust will actually go through the paint. So it's real important that you use some kind of a method, a blower or whatever, to get the shavings off of the roof. I'll get up on the roof and then continue to clean the roof off further forward, and then I'll show you how I'm making these screens. You can use a pair of tin snips or whatever to cut down this line, or you can use a grinder. It's just as easy to use the snips. Makes less noise. Then what I did is I made a block of wood that's just slightly smaller than the opening, and then I made a hole in another board that's bigger than the opening. And what this is for is to give me some allowance for the screen material to come up through here. So I start by centering as best I can this board on top of the screen, and then I bend the screen edges up. And I use a little hammer to try to get the edge a little bit tighter. And then I bend the other side around. Okay, so what I do now is I'm going to cut this piece here even with the wood. going to trim this a little bit, but I'm going to raise up my cut about 1/4 of an inch so that when this is bent up, this area here will overlap this area. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. So now when I bend this up, this edge here will cover the side edge there. And from, well, I'll get to that part here in a second. So we'll do the same thing on this end. So what this other piece of plywood is for is so that I can push this down into here with possibly a little persuasion. And I can further trim this. Okay, now I'm going to use the hammer to bend these all over. Now I can pop this back out of the hole and further trim is necessary. I don't need as much of this as I have. And then I can even bend these a little bit more past 90 degrees so that when I push this up into the hole, these will want to sit flatter up against the roof. And so I just press this up into the hole. And then while I hold it in place with one hand from underneath, I'll go up here and I'll put some construction adhesive in here and try to smooth it out so that it fills the hole, fills any gaps. This is going to take 2 hands, so I think I'll go ahead and set up the tripod. What I'm doing here is I'm pushing a little bit of this construction adhesive into the screen itself as well. This side here needs a little bit more caulk. And then you can smooth it on the inside as well. And this will take more than one coat, so after this one dries, I'll go ahead and put another one on.